Hello and welcome to Hills Church, and we are your hosts for today. Happy Mother's Day as well, as this is our Sunday of celebrating all of the mothers and the girls of our church. So happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Hey girls and fellas out there, we are excited to be your hosts for the day, and we hope you enjoyed last week's live hosting session, and we just thought it was too fun that we couldn't not do it again. So girls, we are celebrating all of you today, aren't we, Rachel?
Yes, absolutely.
Every girl in the Hills Church, we celebrate you, and we hope that you loved your little goodie package that you got yesterday.
I know, how good were they?
Did you enjoy yours?
I would have bought one if I had the opportunity. If it wasn't given to me, I would have bought one right there. They look so good.
Very good,
So good,
Rachel.
So good.
Well, I actually don't have much of a sweet tooth, but I got bought strawberry kisses, so chocolate covered strawberries.
Oh, yeah.
I got the macaroons.
Yes.
The macaroons, and I also had lemon tart in the fridge, so last night I overindulged in sugar.
Here, it was Saturday last night. Sure, why not?
I know.
Go for it.
So we've loved seeing all your girls' pictures of your macaroons, and so keep tagging us in your post. We love to see you enjoying them. I got a few text messages to say, I've just got them delivered and I've already at like 3, or I've only 1 left, so I think you girls enjoyed them, so...
Absolutely. Here, what did you get for Mother's Day, since it is Mother's Day?
I think I was pretty spoiled actually this year.
Right.
So I think what made it for me as well, though, Judah is obviously at nursery, so he made me 3 things at nursery.
Aww.
So he made me a card that had his handprints inside of it. He made me a little sheet that had his feet on it as well. And also a colouring picture. So I got those 3 things that were DIY that I love.
Lovely.
I got a gorgeous bunch of flowers.
Lovely.
And I got those chocolate covered strawberries.
Oh, very nice.
So I was
very
well
nice.
treated.
You were well treated actually this year.
But Rachel, you're not a mum yet. But
Yet.
but you do have a mum.
Yeah.
Did you get her anything nice?
Yeah, so I actually haven't even got it to her yet.
So should you say?
I don't know. No, well, I'll not say. Maybe not.
Rachel's yet to give her mum or drop off her mum's little Mother's Day gift.
It's not my feet printed onto a card, I can tell you that. I think I'm a bit old for that now, so I am.
Very good, Rachel, very good. Well, we would love to hear what you have got for Mother's Day, if you have been treated by your little kids or your old kids or maybe your husband. So let us know in the comments maybe what you have got this lovely Mother's Day. Let us know maybe if you got breakfast in bed. Or maybe, I don't know if you have a little Mother's Day tradition in your house, but we would love to hear what they are. I see in the comments there, Tabby hasn't yet tried her macarons. You must be saving them for today, Tabby. That is nice. So let us know in the comments what you have done today or what you've got today, because we would love to hear that too, wouldn't we?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
We just want to hear what you're doing today even as well. Let us know what you have for breakfast or whatever. Hey, we just love hearing from you on the comments as well.
Yeah. And also, not to mention, Hills Kids had their special Mother's Day service at 10:30 on YouTube. So if your little kids missed it, you can catch up on that later. The link is in the bio and over Facebook and places like that. But it was a very good service from the lovely Jill Simple this week.
I know. I think all the girls are rocking it today, aren't they?
Girl
Between Jill, us, sure, why not?
Oh, that's good, Rachel.
So just before I introduce Victoria, we just, at the Hills Church, we actually honour a lot of people. And if you're actually a part of our Hills Church, we do this through team or we do it through the church services. So because we're not obviously live with church or anything like that, we just want to honour you, Victoria. And because it's Mother's Day, you're of course you're a mother and all the rest, but you do so much behind the scenes in the Hills Church. So we are just so encouraged by you, and you're an absolute inspiration for all us women out there. So this is just a wee token that we want to give to you today.
I was not expecting this.
This was a total surprise.
This is a total surprise. That is so lovely. Thank you very much.
I hope you like them.
I do love them. That's so thoughtful.
Victoria is actually going to speak today as well, and she's going to just continue our series of talks from the Become topic. So, yeah, give her a listen and give her a thumbs up and just encourage her. All right.
Thank you so much, Rachel. That means so much. And just before I come on to share our Become series on James chapter 3, we're going to give you 1 minute. And in that 1 minute, you can choose to visit our website or whatever, maybe a link in our bio. But we want to give you 1 minute where you can either fill in a contact form if you want to get set up on our system, or if you want to fill in a prayer request or a praise report, because we love getting to pray for you and to hear what God has done in your life. So you can fill that out on our website, and there's also on our website you can give to the Hills Church, and we thank you so much for your generosity. So that is all on our website, and there'll be 1 minute now just before I come on to share from our collection of talks.
Yeah.
Become.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah,
See you at the end.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you after.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Hey church, I am excited to be continuing on with our collection of talks, Become, and I have certainly enjoyed this collection of talks, and I hope you have too. If you've missed out on them and you want to catch up on them, they're on YouTube, they're on our Facebook page, and you can catch up there, because you know what, I have learnt an awful lot from this collection, and I hope you have too. And I wouldn't want you missing out on it, because I just really feel that it has bettered my life, and I know it could better your life. And we've looked at James chapter 1 and James chapter 2. And in James chapter 1, it was all about trials and going through hard times and how we can get through it. And then in James chapter 2, we've moved on to having faith. And the whole concept of this collection of talks is becoming more mature in our faith. And faith is kind of the overarching theme. And Andy talked about that the last couple of weeks, and I'm moving on to James chapter 3, which is slightly a little different tone to it, but it is still wrapped around the concept of having faith. And James chapter 3, believe it or not, is all about the power of our words. And James chapter 3 is something I would love for you to just read in your own time at home, because the first time I read James chapter 3 in the past month or so, whenever I have been preparing for this and preparing for the whole collection of talks, I was super challenged. And actually, every time I've ever read James chapter 3, I have been super challenged. And you know what? Being challenged is not a bad thing, because when we're challenged, we know that there's an area of our life where we can do better. And I know I want to do better in any area that I'm not doing super at. So James chapter 3 is one that I think that speaks personally to us all, and it's a great one to read by yourself, because you know what? It's just when you get those little drops in your heart of being like, oh, hey, I need to take note of that, God. Oh, hey, I need to take note of that, God. It's one to get the highlighter out on, and it is just good to read. And I'm kind of going to draw from one slant of it today about the whole having faith and using our words like that. But I would so love for you to go and read James chapter 3 for yourself, because it is good and it is powerful. And I know it has changed me, and I know it can change you, because it is all about the power of our words. Because in James chapter 3 verse 2, it says this: we all fail in many areas. Hey, don't we? We all fail in many areas. And this is James, the half-brother of Jesus, writing this, and he's saying, hey, we all fail in many areas. And I'm like, phew, thanks James for writing it, because it makes me feel not as bad for when I doing not so good in some areas. So he's saying we all fail in many areas, but especially with our words. Especially with our words. And I don't know if you've ever thought about it, or if you've ever left a conversation, or if you've ever left a room, or ever put down a phone call and you're a bit like, oh, I wish I didn't say that. And it says, if we're able to bridle the words we say, we are powerful enough to control ourselves in every way. And that means our character is mature and fully developed. And that's what James is talking about, is having our faith mature and fully developed. And he's talking about the power of our words here in James chapter 3. And that's why I would love for you to read it yourself, because what we say matters. And when you look at James chapter 3, it talks about, what a small spark starting a fire in a forest, and how even the horse has a bridle in its mouth to control it in the direction of its life. But us as people, there's nothing really much we can do with our mouth, because words come out so easily. But becoming more mature in our faith and more mature in who we are, we get more of the ability to control our tongue. And I know I want to do better at controlling my tongue. I'm not sure if you do. Maybe you've got this down, which is great. But I think it is a powerful thing. What James is saying, hey, we all find this hard. It's not easy, but we can get there. So have a read of James chapter 3 yourself. I would love for you to do that. But I'm kind of drawn from what Andy was talking about, and the overarching theme of James is faith and being mature in our faith. And when we look at James chapter 2, it's having faith in God and faith in our circumstances. And we all know that we can have faith, and faith is something that we can keep in our heart and we can believe fully, and it's just in us. But it goes to a whole new level when the faith comes out, and it is out of our mouth in words. And I'm just going to look at that today. Faith is powerful when we speak it. It's powerful when we believe it, but there is something so defining that when it goes from in here to out here, it is defining, it is supernatural, and it is powerful. And I'm just going to talk to us today about what we can speak faith about, how we can speak faith, and the difference it can make to our lives. Because you know and I know that words matter. Words can hurt, words can heal. Words are how this world lives, and it's how we get about our day-to-day life as words, but we have to be so careful in what we say and how we say it. And Proverbs, that actually says this in chapter 18, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And that's just not written for the crack to say, hey, death and life is in your words. No, it actually means that your words can carry death, or your words can carry life. And I just believe that we can all get to a place of our words being life-giving words, life-defining words, words that change the direction and make our life and people around our lives better. Because you know what? We can speak life to our life. We can speak words of faith to the people around our life, and we can speak words of faith into situations. And did you know that words can actually change the direction of your life? Words can change the direction of your life. And I know we all know that actions change the direction of our life, and what we do physically changes the direction of our lives, but words have the power to change the direction of your life, my life, and the people around us life. Because I know we can talk about things and we can say, this isn't happening, I can't do this, it's not working, it's not looking good, but we also have the power to say, you know what, I believe, I see, I'm encouraged, you know what, you can do it, I believe God is able, and all these things, because we can use our words to determine the direction of our life. And did you know that actually we all have people in our lives that are influential to us? And studies have shown that we take on the words of the people who are most influential to us. So if you can imagine the most influential person in your life, or maybe you have a couple of people, well, if they're speaking encouraging, upbeat, constructive words to you, guess what? The direction of your life's probably going pretty well, because you know what? You're confident, you have people behind you cheering you on, and you know that you are encouraged and doing well. But say if the most influential person in your life is saying, you're not able, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, don't think you'll be able to do that, you're probably not heading in the best direction of your life. But you know what? That can be changed. But you know what? We just don't have to speak faith and have faith. We got to speak faith. And we got to speak out into situations and out into people's lives, speaking faith. And you might think, Victoria, what are you talking about speaking faith? Well, what I'm talking about when I'm saying speaking faith is, I'm actually saying we need to silence the negativity. We need to silence the destructive talk. We need to silence the sickness talk. We need to silence the doubt talk. We need to silence the not going to get anywhere talk. We need to silence the not good enough talk. And we need to speak out the faith talk. Seeing God how we see us, but also speaking faith into situations of God is able. Possibilities are endless. You can do it. You are able. People just speaking life and faith into our finances, into our relationships, into our families, into circumstances. You know, and I know, when you are encouraged by someone, you are more upbeat, you're more positive, and your day probably goes better because you are encouraged and you are faith-filled. And I know I have been in groups and there has been chat going on, and you do hear the words of, oh, did you hear that's not going too well, or did you hear how sick they are, and yeah, I heard how sick they're probably not going to make it, or yeah, it probably doesn't look like they're going to get accepted to that yet, it probably doesn't look too good there. And the talk can be negative, and it can be going down a slippy path where there is very little faith. But I don't know if you've ever had someone sick and they've been given not much chance, but if a doctor has come in and give any little glimpse, don't you just realize that people cling on to hope? It's just in our natural DNA to cling on to hope. And if we all learn to be faith-filled in our words, people will have hope to cling on to. And we all have hope to live for, because Jesus died on the cross for us and we can spend eternity with him. But we can have hope here on earth in our situations and our circumstances and our families. And we all can change the tone and the direction of our lives by speaking positively and speaking faith-filled into our circumstances and over it. You know what? There's lots of times in the Bible where faith has been spoken into people and circumstances and scenarios, and the direction of their lives have been changed. I'm sure you've heard this. It's even in a song that you probably sang as a kid, or maybe you didn't, but was "Get Up and Walk." And you know what? Jesus spoke to someone, and he get up and walk. And you know what? The man God has met, and he got up and he walked. There was people sick, and they were made better by just words. And you know what? This is how creation came about, by God speaking words. And you know what? Our words carry power, and our words carry weight, and we can change the direction of our life and people around our life by speaking faith over. You know what? I do believe your marriage can survive. I do believe your business can survive COVID. I do have faith that your child will do well and will be able to get a job whenever they leave school. I do have faith for you to conceive a child. I do have faith in you that you are smart enough, that you are able, that you can complete what you started. You know what? We need to have people in our lives that surround us to say, you can do it, I encourage you. You know what? Nothing's impossible to God. He can do anything. You know the verse of the Hills Church, Ephesians 3 verse 20, God can do anything, you know. And when we look at our circumstances, and when we look at people, and when we look at through the lens of God can do anything, you know, and that's the sort of language we use over circumstances, it is endless, the possibilities that can be reached and the destination that you will get to when you speak faith over your circumstances, over your life, and over your children's lives. Negative words have the power to kill us down, to destruct our lives and our past and our marriages and just about anything. But constructive words, positive words, encouraging words, faith-filled words have the power to endlessly provide us with opportunities and exciting things and faith-filled things for our lives. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's choose to have a language of being faith-filled and not faithless. And I'm sure you could probably list some situations and scenarios that's in your life at the minute and you're thinking, this isn't looking too good, or you know what, that could do with a bit of work, or you know what, this is a bit of a rough patch, or they're not doing too good, something like that. And can I encourage you to speak faith into those situations? Because when we speak faith, situations change. There's a story about the 12 spies in the Bible. And these 12 spies, they went out. And did you know that the 10 out of the 12, I was going to do a percentage there because that's how my head thinks. So it's like 10 or 12, what percentage is that? Because I'm a weird man with a brain, but I'm not going to go into percentages. But when these 12 spies went out and they came back, 10 of them carried a negative report. And 2 of them carried a positive report. Okay? And if you think about that, 10 out of 12 is pretty big of carrying a negative report. And I would just challenge us to think, what are we? Are we carrying a negative report or are we carrying a positive report? Because can I tell you, it matters. The reports you're bringing back about people, about circumstances, about anything matters. And if you're carrying about a negative report back, it's not going to look as good if you're going to carry a positive report. Because you know those 10 spies, I don't know if they were guys or gals, but those 10 spies that carried a negative report, do you know what they ended up doing? They ended up wandering a desert. Yeah, you heard me right. Wandering a desert. Now, I'm not laughing at their misfortune, but that is what those 10 spies, that was their destination. They were wandering a desert. And I know I don't want to wander a desert by carrying a negative report and not getting anywhere. It's having that positive report. And this isn't something that everyone gets, because in life, people like to talk about things, they like to talk about other people's things, and sometimes they like to talk about how bad things are. And you know what? We all have our own tongue, and we all have our own tongue to tame. But there's something I think that we can choose to be wise about, and you can take this or leave it, but it's something that I live my life by, and I believe in it, and it's just kind of like a boundary that I have in my life, and I think it's a good way for me to live, and you might decide this too, because the 10 out of 12 carry a negative report back then, and we never know who carries a negative report or a positive report. But if you are going through something that's maybe not looking so good, that's maybe a little bit like, hey, this might not work out. Well, can I just encourage you to be wise about who you're telling your news to? Because you know what? We want people around us that are going to have faith-filled words over our situations. When we say, hey, this isn't looking too good, we need people to say, guess what? I believe in you. I believe God can change this. I believe God can break through in this situation. He can provide, He can heal, He can restore. You know what? God, there's nothing impossible with Him. You want people speaking over your situations with a positive report, with an encouraging word, with a faith-filled voice. And I don't think that it's worth getting into sharing our news and what's going on in our life with the people who's going to carry a negative report, with the people who's going to be faithless, with the people who's going to say, it's not looking good, it's looking bad, it's not somewhere where I want to go with my stuff, and I'm sure it's probably not where you want to go with your stuff either, because having people around us that get this, that get James chapter 3 of being wise with our tongue and speaking faith out, is the sort of people I want around me, and I'm sure you want to be one of those people too, because I know I want to be headed in the best direction for you. Because I spoke about it in the first couple of weeks of this series, we all hit bumps in the road. Bumps in the road are inevitable. We all get to times where things aren't so good, and that is just life. But guess what? We are confident that we can get through it because we have our hope and our assurances in Jesus, and it is keeping faith in every and any circumstance. And you know what? Some things don't always look as an outcome that we can always expect. And you know what? We're not God and we don't know why things happen. But you know what? We can have faith in every and any situation. So no matter what you are going through, you can choose to have faith, but not just have faith, to speak faith out. So can I encourage you today, whatever realm of your life, can I encourage you, whether it's your children, will you speak faith-filled words over them? Will you tell them how great they are, how able they are, how proud you are of them, and the potentials that they can reach? Would you not cap them by telling them what they are not? Would you do the same with your friends, with your family, your spouse? Can we be encouraging and faith-filled when it comes to our finances, when it comes to our jobs, when it comes to situations that may arise? We can choose to have this faith-filled language that we hear of in James.
People come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood as one. Children of generation, of every nation, a kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth: God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jesus, our redemption, our salvation is in His blood. Jesus, light of heaven, friend forever, His kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth: God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as your walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All His children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as your walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All His children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All His children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Jesus, light of heaven, friend forever, His kingdom come.
Hi and welcome back. How good was Victoria today? Such a relevant talk actually for all of us right now, going through COVID and whatnot. But just such a relevant topic for right now. And it was so good. You're so natural, Victoria. So natural.
Thanks, Rachel. No, you know what? Our words do matter, and I hope and pray that today that you choose your words to speak over your situations, to have faith in them, and to speak faith over your friends and family situations too. And if you were listening in today, we do this every week, and I would just love to give you the opportunity. This is a thing called a starter pack. It has a Bible and some goodies in it, and if you want to get on the journey with God or want to know more about God, you know what, you can request one of these and we will post it out to you. So if you would like to do that, please private message us and we will get one in the post to you, and we would so love to do that. So please don't hold back in asking. We would absolutely love to do that.
Yeah, we've actually been really enjoying like your comments and all this morning. Denise, you got a pair of trainers for Mother's Day. How good's that?
We were like, Denise got trainers?
I know.
Wow.
I know. I had to buy my own trainers.
They are pretty nice. If Rachel could show you her trainers. Rachel has new lovely trainers on today.
Oh, jeepers.
And we loved hearing if you loved the macaroons. Tabby, we hope that you enjoy your macaroons with a cup of tea today. They are very tasty.
They are so tasty. Pistachio ones are definitely my favourite. That's the green ones.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Have you not?
No, I
So
haven't.
good. So good.
So thanks for coming on and commenting. How good is our band? Give them a thumbs up if you
Absolutely.
love our band. And I absolutely love that song too.
It was a good song. It was. It
Yeah.
was. We'll need to do a Spotify or something, won't we? We'll need to get it. We'll need to get it together.
We love our band, yeah. So, and just remind you, you can visit all those things on our website for contact forms and for Hills Kids and prayer and praise reports. We would love for you to fill them out. Tabby says that our macaroons were better than M&S.
Oh my word.
I have heard that.
That's quite good. That's very good.
That is so good. And this week we have midweek coming up again at 8 p.m. So make sure and not miss out on that. And then Rachel, what do we have next Sunday?
Yeah, we have a special guest.
Yeah, we do. We have a special guest speaker next Sunday here at the Hills Church. We have Pastor Sean Booth from Open Arms Church, Dublin/Kildare, and you will not want to miss out on him. But we will still have live hosts next Sunday as well, so we will still be able to connect with you next Sunday on here.
Yeah, tune in.
Tune in, yeah. So thanks so much for listening online to our service. You can share this, you can like this, you can get it out there, because you know what, we all have something to hear from today, whether it's us carrying on or the worship or the words. So
No, I know. It's good to be on with you today. So it
yeah,
was.
have a great week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.